Hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That's Stan. We welcome to the studio for the first time ever. Say hello to Joe Keery.
Yo! Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Thank you for giving us time.
Of course.
On a week that is, it's like a big one. Like, it is a cool week in music.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? Or, I mean, I don't know.
The Coachella.
The Coachella energy. Like, people think about it. They dream about the moment. And well done.
Yeah. It's cool to be a part of, and it's fun to be here with all the guys, just also playing a few shows in between and get to do this. I've been looking forward to it. Yeah.
Really appreciate you being here. We were talking like literally, we were talking about people coming up to you and just saying, great show, and knowing in your mind that like, it could always be better. And it stems from like but like people usually come to me and go like, oh, your studio is XYZ. None of it's usually nice. So I thank you for being nice, but I automatically deflect and I go like, we're going to build a new one, wah, wah, wah.
Of course.
But it is this idea that like, you can always be better, but also a reminder that the person who you are doing whatever you do in front of, they're experiencing it for the very first time. So they don't know.
It's true. It's something that you would be an amazing tool as an artist to have, to be able to get that fresh perspective, but you'll never get it. You'll never see your own show. You'll never hear your own album. You'll never really know objectively. So there's no point in trying to understand that. You just got to kind of keep going, I guess. Keep digging.
Where are you digging?
Oh man. I feel like you're battling yourself really at the end of the day. You're kind of constantly trying to, improve like little things, but then also along the way, especially for this live stuff, like constantly reconnect with the song too. And a great example, we had like a show in Pomona 2 nights ago where I felt really connected to a bunch of these songs. I felt like, wow, we had a bunch of friends and family and all the guys' girlfriends were there. And it was like great. It was a really good night and really snuck up on everybody. And then the next night is also good, but it's hard to like, compare it to the night from before. So you're kind of like constantly having to just sort of forget and then redo it, which is the beauty, I guess, of like live performance.
Are these songs starting to take on new meaning to you since the moment you made them to now performing them so heavily?
I feel like the process that I've felt is this is like the first time we've done any extensive touring. The longest we've done is maybe like 5 shows, which is nothing. So, yeah.
That's wild.
I know. For the other 2 albums, it was like we did a New York and LA and Chicago thing. And then the second one we did like a couple shows. We did Lollapalooza, which was great. But we did some shows. And so this time, kind of learning the songs, you do go through the process of like, eventually the song kind of becomes like just this thing that you know how to do. And then it can kind of take on new meaning. So I haven't quite gotten to the new meaning part for some of this new stuff yet.
You're at the muscle memory stage.
I'm still like, oh, fuck, I just forgot that thing, or like I said the wrong lyrics.
Can you explain to me how you approach a live show? Because you are touring with your friends from many years, right?
Yeah.
It's your original band that's still around.
Yeah.
Do you approach it like an actor, like everything needs to be set, or do you rely or lean on the musicality of your longstanding friendship to kind of get you through?
Both. I think you kind of have to do both. In like modern music, there is a certain production value, I think, that is expected, and sort of the bar has been raised by all these amazing artists. So there is a certain level of technicality that you kind of have to adhere to in order to kind of produce that sort of show. But I also am a really big fan of sort of the moments that I live for are the, okay, and then this is a little transition moment, and maybe one night you do it completely differently, or this or that. And then there was also kind of like guideposts that we have within the show that sort of can shift, or moments can happen in between. So I think it's I think it's both. And then also cool if somebody, you don't want to do the exact same thing every night. I personally don't. So it's nice to have at least some sort of change, taking songs in, taking songs out, moving the set around, doing different things, because, always trying to look for what's like the right combination. How does this thing ride in the right way?
What are you looking for?
I don't like the feeling of it, I guess. Like the feeling feels good. Like, oh, going from this to that felt really good. Sometimes things that you would never think of, like you play this song and then in comparison, the next song that you play, like all of a sudden the BPM feels really slow. And maybe that's kind of like not right energy wise for that song. Like that song should be kind of a peppier song and is, but just because of the nature of the BPM, it feels kind of lower energy or something like that.
It's too abrupt of a shift.
It's too abrupt of a shift. And that's not something you know until you've done it.
No, trial and error.
Have you guys made any changes so far this tour yet?
Tons. Yeah, we've changed it a bunch. We're thinking about like, I'm in the text chain where the guys were like, what if we do this and then this for the second weekend of Coachella, just to sort of like, how can we just constantly, we're a bunch of like perfectionists also. We're kind of like nerd perfectionists, I guess.
Yeah, but like that also makes it fun, right? Like you're striving for something, you're working together for something. Like complacency and just kind of like immediately setting into it, like
that's the fun, is to be able to sort of keep working and
to also like have people like your friends like vulnerable enough and like they're also willing enough to have these conversations constantly to better the product that they're all invested in.
For sure.
It's cool shit.
Yeah, it's also the benefit of kind of working really closely with your friends, I think.
Is it the guys in Post Animal that you're touring with now?
So it's a mixture. Post Animal is also touring with on the road with us.
Because you also just announced you're turning first.
Yeah, we wrote it was like the 10-year anniversary, or it's coming up this year maybe, of I worked on this. The last one I did with them was called When I Think of You in a Castle. We did this album. We went to, I think it was like Michigan, and we were staying in this lake, at this lake town, this place, Lake Pawpaw. We all went up and we brought all the recording gear, the 6 of us, and we made this record. And then basically I went and did Stranger Things. And so we were kind of, I went to a show of theirs in New York maybe a year or 2 ago, and we thought, oh, we should do something like that again. And we actually ended up really doing it. So we got together and we made another record, and now it's coming out.
What elements of that do you bring into what you do on your own? Because the way you do make music is very personal. Like it's you and Adam on, it's either you alone or you and Adam on every single one of these records, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. And Wes also on this one.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like it's just like a thing that I enjoy doing, and a hobby, I guess, turned job.
Is that really how you look at it?
I think it's helpful for me to look at it that way, because it's well, to be quite blunt and frank about it, the fact that I don't have to like rely on the financial side
Such a freedom.
Fuel my life is insanely privileged and great, and has allowed me to sort of just use it as this creative outlet to follow my passion for making music and so.
Do you think you make music differently because of that?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so. I think it's extremely difficult being a modern touring musician, and I think you can't help but be influenced by labels wanting you to have a big viral hit, or writing something that you think might do well versus just following some weird instinct. And I think if you take that financial pressure off of it, it does release some stuff. So I don't think, like, when we made that Decide record, it was fueled by drinking a bunch of coffee, not by like wanting to make a viral song. So yeah, it's so far it's been a labor of love for me and for Adam, I think, as well.
Genuinely making music because you have to.
It's just fun. It's so fun. I'm like a project-based guy. I just like love being creative, and I love songwriting, and I'm kind of so into the chase of like writing not like a perfect song, but like really just getting better at it, and it's just really fun.
If you were chasing that viral hit, do you think End of Beginning ever would have happened?
Probably not. I mean, the fact that song also did what it did is kind of a fluke. I mean, obviously people connected with it, but so many different weird circumstances have to kind of align for that sort of stuff to happen. It's not something you can plan. And then when it does, it's kind of like, whoa, it's not really due to much of what I've done. I put the same amount of work into other songs as that song. That one just happened to be at that moment where a bunch of people took it and put it in this TikTok or put it in this thing, and then all of a sudden, you know.
Yeah, but can we talk about the actual creation of it? Like, who's in the room with you?
That was like at the end of 2019, maybe. It was before the pandemic. It was me, Adam, and Teddy Matthews, who is also in the live touring band. He is the drummer. I replaced him originally as the drummer in Post Animal. He was the original drummer, and then Wes replaced me. And then Teddy plays in this band called Slow Pulp, great band from Chicago and Wisconsin. So, yeah, and it was just the three of us, and it was like this last idea that we were adding to this. I was like, oh, I have this other idea, and wrote it and recorded, like tracked, the three of us tracked a bit, and then pretty much did the instrumental, took it away for a couple weeks, wrote the lyrics, came back.
When you say idea, what did you have?
Like a phone recording.
Of what?
Guitar and melody.
Do you have it?
Somewhere, yeah, somewhere deep. I think it was on an older phone though.
So, and you just played that, like, that came to you when?
One morning.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'd say, I feel like the thing I've taken away from that is like the more you kind of like have things around and the more you make an effort to just take the pressure off, not try to make anything amazing, but just get something down. Then when you go back, you're like, oh, there's actually potential in that thing. Just like, what's the Michael Jordan? What's his thing? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
It's like that. You just want to get as many at-bats. Now we're baseball, but as many at-bats as possible.
Good Chicago reference as well.
Yeah.
No, but like, so when you're writing the record, like, does it just flow out of you? Do you know what you're talking about when you're writing it?
Yeah, sometimes. What do you mean, I guess?
For that song in specific, do you understand the story you're telling while you're actually writing it, or is it until you kind of read back the lyrics or hear it that you actually know what is being told?
Kind of like combination of both. I feel like I used to maybe be a little bit more just kind of free association, just like all these different things kind of coming in and then looking back at the songs and kind of being like, oh, I was really singing about this or this. And then for this record in particular, made an effort to maybe really hone in on like a kernel of what it is I'm trying to, like, In the Beginning is a pretty good example. It's like a specific feeling that, I felt within myself that I couldn't really put like a single name on. It's like, okay, that seems like a good and worthwhile thing to like have a whole song about. And I tried to do that, I think, on this new record, like, okay, this is like a song about the way I feel about like my parents, or this is a song that expresses like the frustration of like not being able to get over somebody, or this is the song that's like a salute to like my sisters and my friends or something like that. So trying to like maybe just realizing what I'm trying to do and then going for it. It'd be fun to actually go back now that I've done that to be like, let's just get weird. Let's get totally random again.
So that's nice. Like you kind of prompt yourself essentially.
Yeah, I think like having some sort of guidelines is kind of necessary. You don't want like total freedom. Otherwise, I think it's easy to get stuck too.
You have some timeless records on this album. I really do think so.
Thanks.
Link is amazing. Potion's great. Basic being basic.
Thanks.
Really great. Really fucking good stuff.
Thanks.
Can we talk about Back on You though? It is
Love to.
It's about your sisters.
Yeah.
The vocals on that are crazy. Also your sisters.
Yeah. And also all the Post Animal guys too.
How does that record begin? Is it wanting to talk about your friends and your family?
Again, it was like the first verse was a idea that I had kicking around since like the end of recording the last record. And I think it was the first song we started on this one, first tracking. And yeah, it's just also like the spirit of, I don't know, I like to call it like hockey stadium rock, sort of like Thin Lizzy or something like that. But I thought like an interesting take on it instead of the lyrics being about, I don't know, not like getting drunk or like scoring chicks or anything like that. It's like an ode to, I don't know, people in my life that I really love. So yeah. And it also is like a vulnerable place and a thing that like maybe 5 years ago I would have maybe shrouded it a little bit more or felt like it can't be like that direct, but it's kind of also a little bit of a challenge to myself to be like, why not? Why not just say exactly what you mean?
What was the barrier or like the hesitation there?
I don't know exactly. Maybe just like not wanting to be like too on the nose, or maybe just being scared of being honest, I guess. But I think it's a really cool thing to be able to like declare that to the world, and it is how I feel. So why not say that?
100%.
And like, what other point of music is there other than just like saying what you mean? And selfishly, it's really just like for me, I guess, and my sisters, I guess.
At what point in recording the song did you realize you wanted your sister's vocals on it too?
That was something that came along later on. And it was an Adam idea, really kind of, we were inspired by Dan Nigro, who's a great producer. And I feel like on a lot of his records, there's generally kind of like a gang vocal.
I love a gang vocal.
Yeah, and it's not something that we had done. A lot of the background vocals had been me, just like doubling myself just because of money or time or whatever. And we were working in New York. We were like, it'd be great. That would be great. But it can't just be us. And it partly is us. It's me and Adam and Austin Christie, who assistant engineered the project, amazing guy. And my sisters live in New York. And I was like, oh, well, my sisters, they could come in. It'd be great to have some female voices. It'd be great. And really no intention for them to, sing over. They're on everything, which is great. And I can't believe they allowed me to convince them to do that. So they came in for the song Lonesome, and then we're like, oh, this is working really well. You guys should sing on more of this stuff. And they did the Back on You vocals without really hearing the verses. We were trying to like punch around it just because I was like, I don't really want them to like hear that quite yet. And then I'll show them kind of at the end of the project. So they kind of sang on that whole thing without maybe really knowing what it was about, which was kind of cool. But yeah, and then we also got the Post Animal guys, and they're also on the song Crux too. So yeah, friends and family peppered all over this place. And then my sister Caroline came down. She did some songs. My sister Lizzie early on was doing some like documentation stuff because she's a great photographer. Does videos and stuff. And we got her stomping and clapping. She's
Family
great.
affair, yeah.
She's a great singer, but we hadn't thought of that yet. So, and she was busy. She's a busy person. So.
But like, what a cool thing. Like,
It's great.
like no wonder why this works so
It's
well.
Honestly, truly, just like selfishly for me,
No, it
it's
is.
great.
Well, And the other thing is like, maybe people don't know this, but you are independent, correct?
Yeah.
Like you do
Yeah.
it all, and you've achieved such great success.
Oh,
And
thanks.
you have an amazing independent team. Like, and
We do have an insane team. To be like, yeah,
bro, I know your radio team, and they are really good.
they're so
Dale
good.
and January, I'm going to shout them out.
They're
they
amazing.
really are good.
Yeah, the whole team has been incredible, and to be able to be like independent is so cool. Like technically, we're like an indie band still.
No,
which
you
is
are, and you're
cool.
the CEO.
Yeah, somehow through some fluke of the universe. Yeah.
You are one. You're the only guy. You have 4 sisters, and
Yeah.
in the lyrics, you do talk about how they push you to be a better man.
Yeah,
Which that has to happen.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
How though?
totally outnumbered. I'm totally
I
outnumbered.
have no choice.
No, it's just like a power of, I don't know, osmosis or something. And just, I do think about if I had a different, it all goes back to my family. I think if I had a different set of circumstances, I would be a different person. So I just like I said, thank my lucky stars, but like, thank God that I had the situation that I do, because I feel so fortunate to be able to do the things that I get to do creatively in my life. And I know that would be impossible without the support that I was given early in my life. So yeah, it's just like big thank you, I think, really.
How do you balance luck, fortune, hard work?
I don't know. I do not know. A lot of it is luck, truly. It really is. And obviously, I'm a hard worker. But yeah, you do have to get that opportunity, and that, that thing has to kind of come your way. And the way that I deal with it is just to now that I've had this opportunity, just to gratitude also, just to be like, wow, oh my God, we're driving to Pomona and playing a sold out show, and the bus is packed with all my best friends.
So you list those around you.
Well, you got to also, because you can't do it by yourself. There's no way to do it all alone. I in the past, doing the first 2 records, especially, a great lesson on this one was also maybe it's not who I am to do everything by myself. There are people who do that I have huge respect for, but for me, the process of now including more people is so much more fun, because I don't know, it's a little less stressful, the memories are stronger, and you can always do what you want to do, but you can never anticipate what somebody else's idea might be and what that might bring to the table. You can always be like, nah, I think we should do it this way. But other people's ideas constantly also surprise you too. And you might be like, wow, I would have never thought of that. And that actually makes this song 10 times better. So we're going with that.
So how much of this is at least when it comes to crafting an actual record, is it you and then a group? Do you go into the studio with something? Are you crafting from nothing outside of a prompt? What is it when you're actually in there?
A lot of so pretty much everything is a kernel of an idea that I've got going on. And sometimes Potion, Wes and Adam, for whatever reason, were not free. So that song is me, which is great. And right. Adam came in later, recorded some stuff. But then a song like Egg is I came up with the main kind of chorus. It's not really a chorus, pseudo chorus, the chords, and kind of knew that I wanted it to be knew the structure, or knew the I don't know, what the song should be. I guess I knew that. I kind of had some lyrics and stuff, and then we kind of fleshed that out. So that was more of a collaborative thing. And then you have a song like Basic Being Basic was
my favorite, dude. Who wrote I Don't Want Your Money? I don't care for fame. I don't want to live a life where that's my big exchange. I want simple pleasures, friends who have my back. Everyone has secrets, but not everyone could feel like a man like that. So fucking real, dude.
Oh, thanks.
It sent me reeling, still not the same. It's like my capacity to love and give has changed. So fucking true.
Mm.
Success can do that to you.
Sometimes, yeah. And also the song is for me, a really personal thing about my own life. And I think it kind of can seem like I'm talking in generalities, but it's really super specific for me, which is, again, also maybe says something about when you make something that's really personal, it can seem like it's kind of speaking to everybody. But yeah, that was me I was living in Atlanta working on Stranger Things this whole past year. And that was one where made the demo, sent the demo to Adam. Adam souped some stuff up. And then I was just listening, wrote all the lyrics, and then went to New York and was like, let's just do all of them. We just did it all. So, yeah.
What is the crux of this album?
It was a process of just growing up a little bit more and realizing that in order to be maybe a more confident man on my own, I needed to reconnect with my roots, the people in my life, and with I think that also meant reconnecting to my musical roots and my community, and doing that I think was sort of the main takeaway, kind of setting myself up for this next part of my life.
Do you set out with those goals, or does it just kind of fall into place like that?
It kind of falls into place, and it sort of ends up being like a reflection for me. Now it seems like a reflection on that, but you know, writing like Back on You, it was like that was happening at that moment. So it's like, yeah, like a catharsis going on, I guess.
Were all of these songs pretty much conceived that way?
Yeah, yeah, which is great. I mean, it's like you're using a song as a crutch to kind of like get over something, or, you know, like Potion is written from like a real place of like yearning, honestly, like feeling alone and wanting to have like that deep, you know, unspoken connection with somebody. And you kind of have to like live each one in order for it to kind of like come out. Same with like Egg, or same with like Fly too, like letting go of something. Yeah.
Do you feel like writing these records help in the process of, I mean, you also are letting go of something. You're also, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're feeling something, processing something.
Live in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's very helpful for me. It's like that's like the benefit of the outlet. Other than like the fun of songwriting, the lyrics, I had like a much greater, I don't know, it was just a fun process this time to try and be very direct and try to be honest and wear my heart on my sleeve, and to like challenge myself to maybe kind of go there a little bit. Yeah, it was great. It's like a little journal. You just get to like, it's different than acting too. Like acting's really fun because you get to kind of like wear this mask or whatever when you're playing a character and it's not you, but you can kind of like put you in there, like pepper a little bit of stuff in and be like, this relationship, you can compare things to your own life, but then also it like forces you to push outside of your boundaries. And this process of like writing, you can just be like really, truly personal and singing directly about experiences from your own life. So, yeah.
But what about the side with the wig? Did that almost feel like acting to you?
Yeah, it did. And that was like part of the fun of that project. It was like, I don't know, especially when we were doing those live shows, it was kind of like I was able to hide behind this thing and kind of was freeing in that way. But everything, the songs were still just as personal, that's for sure. Like the insecurities that I'm singing about, or, you know, that's all still me. It just felt like this time taking that away would make it's like an even bigger challenge to be like, well,
Here I am.
naked,
Yeah.
here I am. So yeah, it was a good challenge.
Do you pause like your life and who you are to become Steve, or do you?
Not really. At this point, like, it's funny, like that's over now, which is kind of like, even saying it right now, it's like, oh wow, it's over.
That's weird, right?
It is. But I learned a lot from playing that character about like myself.
What?
Well, I guess just about like who I am, and like the longer that process went on, the more I realized like I'm not this character. You know, for a second when you kind of, you know, the show blew up, it's like you feel like you kind of are this character for people. And the longer that I played it, the more I realized, and the more I grew up, I guess. Like each time, like the show became big, and then it was like, okay, a little time went on, and then we went back to play, and it was like, oh yeah, okay. A little more time went on, it was like, I went back to play, like, okay, yeah, things are a little different. And this last time, it was like, I really felt like, wow, personally, I've like done some like work on myself and kind of have a deeper understanding of who I am. And it's kind of cool because you have this touchstone thing, and it's maybe like this barometer for like how much things have changed in my own life too.
Do you think living all that experience and living through it made you a better musician?
I have no idea. That's an interesting question. Maybe. It's hard for me to tell because that's the only experience I have. But
You lived a lot of life.
Yeah, for sure. It's just crazy, honestly. I still think about like living in Chicago and just like those, I don't know if you guys think about those things, but like any sort of small deviation from what happened could have changed everything. And it's hard to sometimes like reckon with that. And like, it's very powerful, I guess.
What is that one fork in the road that you think of? Like, what is like that one universe moment that kind of dropped you into the situation you're in today?
I think going to Chicago for school.
DePaul?
Went to DePaul. I got really middling grades in high school because I was focused on doing, you know, the video news at the end of the week and focused on being in plays. And, you know, I kind of was really interested in all this other stuff than the school of it all, which...
I feel that.
Yeah, it just like was difficult for me. I went to a Montessori school as a young kid.
Me too.
You did?
We're the same age.
Wow.
Are you turning 33? I'm turning 33 May 2nd.
Wow.
We're also both Taurus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, twins.
Yeah. Montessori school as well. From when to when?
I did that until I was like in the first grade or second grade.
Wow, cool.
And then I went to like a private school, and then I went to a public high school.
Yeah, I had a similar experience where it was like a public Montessori school. It's called the River Valley Charter School. I went to the school, and then going to high school, I don't know about you, but like totally different. It was like a public high school, so it was a different experience.
Bro, I went from a school of 80 kids with one hallway.
Yeah.
Like you could literally stand on one end of the hallway and see the entire school, to a school of 2,800 kids.
It's a very...
Culture shock.
It's a huge culture shock. And actually, Sam, who plays in the band, we did this all together. We went to Montessori school, went to this high school.
See, that's a blessing.
It's crazy.
Dude, to have a partner in crime like that.
So we have this shared history. And so I think like that the lucky moment was like finding DePaul. And, you know, I loved acting and I was like interested in continuing. But I loved a lot of different things. I liked doing the tech stuff too. I really liked video. I really loved editing, honestly. I'm not very good at it anymore, but I really loved that. So my mom finding this school last minute and being like, I got rejected from all these other schools and then auditioned for this program and then got in. And then like we could like got a scholarship, figured this money out, you know, the whole... jumping through the oh my God. And then because if I hadn't ended up in Chicago and really like pushed past, I don't know, ended up somewhere different and went through being homesick and went through being separated from my family and whatnot, I definitely wouldn't have gotten any of the opportunities that I got. So it's just like, wow, if my mom really had not found that school, it would have been totally different.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's what, I mean...
How far into your time at DePaul did the Stranger Things audition come in?
I fully graduated. I went through 4 years and then was playing in Post Animal and doing like commercials and, you know, doing bit parts on like Chicago Fire. I did and those were like,
yeah,
I'm paying my rent. I'm like a working artist. This is the greatest thing ever. And then like maybe about a year and a half
after you graduated?
After graduating, yeah.
But they found, like, the big thing was moving to Chicago because, like, even though, like, it's not a huge city, there's enough going on. Like, there's enough opportunity happening.
Yeah, for me at the time,
it's perfect.
I mean, I'm sure it's different now, but it was perfect. It was like there was video stuff going on, there's commercials, there's shows coming through, there's movies, so great theater scene and music scene. So it was kind of like
good improv. Yeah, a lot of things going on.
It's great. I think if I had moved to New York or LA, I probably would have gotten a little lost in the shuffle, maybe. But for whatever reason, again, it's like anything could change, and it just is like
it's so true.
Different. It's almost too much to think about, you know?
I get that.
But it's good to think about it because it does fill you with like, oh, thank God.
Gratitude. Yeah. Because like you can get so focused on going from A to B to C so fucking quickly that you can forget that how you even started this journey to begin with.
I know.
It's scary.
It is scary. But it's good to take times like this to think about it.
Yeah, a deep breath.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you wrote a song?
It's a great question. I haven't thought about that. My maybe when I was on like a little piano thing. I didn't play piano at all, but our family friends, the Gallaghers, had a piano with a little book, and Riley Gallagher knew how to play a little, taught me how to play this little song, and then I remember sitting at the piano and being like, oh, well, if you do it this way, it also sounds pretty cool. It was kind of like different. Maybe that. It wasn't really like a song. And then maybe stuff on, when I was really little, my friend Sam, who was in the band, was throwing away a guitar, and I took it out of the trash, and me and my dad's friend, Mr. Stasic, we rebuilt this guitar for my little sister for Christmas, and we'd like put it under my bed, we'd take it out, we'd go like work on it. It was like not a great guitar. This is like a terrible guitar.
It's so sweet.
And in the process, I would like take it out and be like, wait a second, like I really like guitar. This is really fun. And so that also was a, like we're doing that was a experience that made me kind of interested in it.
So this is interesting because like you don't really take up music in high school very much, do you? Or is it?
Not really, no. Before high school, I was playing drums with my friend Sam. We would just like, but not really in a band because I didn't take lessons. Like I can't read music so well. And so drums was kind of a gateway in, but I would, play bass or guitar. I was interested in all of it. Yeah. And then in high school a little bit, but not a ton. I was like interested in music, but like technically it's not like I'm like a shredder guitar player or anything.
What about Gap Tooth Girl when you decided to count to 29?
Gap Tooth Smile. That's a great question.
Gap Tooth Smile, sorry.
No, that's okay.
That girl, eh?
That was like one that
gender it, sorry.
Yeah, no. That was one that was way later in the process, and I love like 70s glam rock, kind of like just like feels good pop glam rock.
You make it sound, it's so nostalgic, but it feels so present. It's the right balance.
Thanks. That
great.
means a lot. Because that is something that you're thinking about when you're kind of like paying homage to all these bands, but like, I don't know, it happens very naturally. So it's like kind of changing it. I kind of went through this process of like, well, I could like go back and edit it to make it feel maybe less like something, but I'm like, this is just like how it happened. So why change it? That would just be kind of like diluting whatever happened. But that was just I had written the verses, written the choruses, like had the idea, was that Electric Lady, writing it down in this little notepad. Okay, this is what this is going to be, this is what this is going to be. And before, when we were doing vocals, it was like we would go in and, layer the vocal. It was much more like modern vocal production. We're going to layer it like 5 or 6 times for the choruses. We're going to have like, 4 voice. So we're like kind of making this like perfect thing on Decide, and we really like scratched that itch on that. And I was like, okay, this time I want something that's a little more like raggedy and like there's one vocal. It's one vocal doing this whole thing, so that when people come to the show, it is just one vocal. I'm just singing it. And it's not like a disappointment when I open my mouth to sing and it's like, wait, that doesn't sound like 5 of him, edited together to be this like wall of sound thing. And so for that one, it was just like, I didn't have an idea for the bridge and just started doing that in the vocal booth and just did it. And that's what we did. And we kind of like kept it because I was just like, that's just kind of funny and great. And the first time I played it for like some friends, they like had a good laugh and it's like, you can't change that. It's kind of like amazing. And then went back and, added some things to contextualize it. And that song's not about anyone, actually. It's not about someone from my own life. It's just kind of like I kind of just put myself in the place of like, I've had like a partner that I really care about before, and like a song that's just like from the perspective of a person looking at their partner and being like, oh my God, wow, I am so lucky, And again, like you're talking about, kind of like a place of gratitude. And I love that song is about that. Yeah.
Does rechanneling that make you actually want a relationship?
Yeah,
again?
definitely. Yeah, I think so. I think throughout the process of recording this record, it's like it's a great thing to have, but it has to be. You also have to like do the work on yourself in order to be able to like be in something that is meaningful, and you can't be too much like this. I've been like this before in the past where you take away the one person, it's poof, you know, you have to really be able to like stand
On your own.
yeah, on your own. And I think that again
Real.
was a part of this process, was being able to be like, okay, like who am I? What am I trying to do? What am I trying to say? What matters in my life? Take away anything else. And so yeah, good lessons in that way. And that's not something that you like get to. That's something that you have to keep
That's a constant
refreshing.
battle.
It is a constant battle.
How much of this, like, who am I, is brought on by the fact that, like, Stranger Things is ending and there is, like, a seismic shift, like, to the point that, like, you just said it was weird for you to even verbalize that.
That's a big part of it for sure.
But also,
But also started by
30s
that.
and life. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, there's a lot of shit.
End of the 20s, I think, for
Huge. 27,
Huge.
you're Saturn. It's a whole thing.
I think there is something to it. And also kind of like the imposter syndrome of it all, being like so fortunate to do something and wanting to like prove that you're worthy of this opportunity that you've been given. And yeah, all of these things coming together.
How do you know if you've proven it?
You never know. I don't think you ever know, because it's a feeling that always comes back of being like, man, is this like good enough? Am I, you know, making things that are worthwhile at all to anyone? And I guess you can't think about, the only thing you can think about is like, does it mean something to me? And like, am I being honest? That's it. I guess that's really it.
Like, that's a beautiful gauge.
I think that's that you'll never get, no one will ever tell you something that will make you feel like you've done it or like you've gotten there, I guess. Like, compliments mean the world and they feel great, but like for me, there's always like a little guy in the back of my head being like, no, it's like it can be better, or are they just saying that, you know? So it's like the only thing that you can really trust is like, am I being like honest? Am I happy with it? Or was I happy with it at some point? Did I think that this was great? And if that is true, then it's worthwhile to maybe put out and just keep on. Like, for me, I love this record. I'm really happy, but I am so ready to like work on something new and get into it again, because the things that are on this record are from a while ago already for me. And so that's how it is, I think, with any artist. They're just like ready to get into it and like start that creative process again. Like riding around on this bus and being around all these new people, all these friends who, you know, we didn't go into the studio with everyone. So writing with some of these guys, it's like, ooh, that's a fun idea and that's cool. And what could we make that would be different? And that's like, the live is really fun, but the recording for sure is still like the thing that I love the most and feel like very lucky to do.
Do you listen to your album or watch what you do in Stranger Things and sit back with the inability to critique, or do you still watch or listen and know even if it's out in the world?
Like, am I able to listen without critiquing?
Yeah.
No, for sure not.
Will you
Definitely not.
Will you watch yourself on TV and not give yourself notes?
The only thing I can watch, honestly, it was never really a problem. And it comes and goes, I feel like. Stranger Things I can watch for whatever reason. It just is like, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't bother me. It's like, but other things, yeah, I will not tune in for sure. It's just, it's a little uncomfortable sometimes. Yeah, it's not like something I'm like, I can't wait to do that. It's like, if I have to do that, I will, but it's not something I'm like actively gonna like seek out.
When did it really hit you that Stranger Things was over? Or does it not feel like it's over because it hasn't aired yet?
Well, it hasn't aired yet, so it's but I think like the last few days of shooting for sure was just like, you know, emotionally packed in a great way. Because you don't get too many like happy, I mean, you don't get too many like end of a big chapter in your life. And I was just like full enjoyment. Even though it was sad, bittersweet, I was like, wow, this is cool what I'm experiencing right now.
Did you cry?
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
You have an interesting story there because Steve wasn't like meant to be around, right?
Dude, I wasn't even supposed to have like, I was supposed to have like 4 days of work, I feel like.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is.
I have goosebumps.
It is, it's insane.
Nuts.
It's crazy. Yeah. And like, I was just going to go do this thing, have this job, and then go back to waiting tables.
In Chicago.
And then it's like, it spiraled. It just like, you know, so.
Did the Duffer Brothers like you or the character? Like, why'd they keep you around for now 5 seasons?
I don't know.
You've had to have wondered why, though.
Just, you know, bait them off a little bit. No, I don't know. I think that, yeah, they just saw something, I guess, in the character and thought it would be worth exploring. And yeah, I don't know.
When you go. Sorry, what'd you say?
No, please.
When did you realize that show changed your life forever?
I don't know. I can't even like really like remember sort of before it, actually, in a way. It's like, it feels like a different whole thing or, yeah. But I do remember being out with the Post Animal guys at this bar in Chicago called Longman and Eagle, and this big Wrigleyville guy, this big Cubs fan, being like, "Hey, you're that dude in that thing, no way!" You know, I do remember that happening and being like, "Yeah, whoa, that was weird." But yeah,
That it would never stop happening.
yeah, yeah.
Is it weird though, like knowing you have this role that's like so iconic that people will know you as Steve Harrington for the longest of times?
I mean, what a gift, actually, really, it's been to do it. And there's like a part of me, obviously, that is like, no, I'm like more than just that. But I don't know. I'm kind of like okay with that. If that's all, I mean, what a insane ride that has been. But I guess now it's just like, it puts me in this place of privilege to be able to just like chase the things I'm really interested in doing. And, you know, I do have other, I'm interested in doing other things, not just music. I'm interested in doing other, you know, roles that are interesting. But a thing like that, I mean, that's like a once in a lifetime thing, you know? And, yeah, what a fun and crazy ride.
Changes your whole life.
Forever, yeah.
I see you got your boots on.
Oh, yeah.
They're Stranger Things boots?
Yeah, I didn't wear them in the show, but they had this big like costume, obviously the costume warehouse this season was insane. And Amy Paris, who's head of costumes at the end of the show, said, yeah, if you want to come by and take some stuff. I just...
You shopped.
I went wild.
What else did you take?
I took a bunch of stuff actually for the band.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, guys, send me your size. I got some... got a great shirt from my niece. My niece is named Ruth. I found this great shirt that says Ruth. I was like, oh, I gotta get that for her. Got some like, you know, I mean, it's like amazing vintage stuff. A lot of it. I mean, some of it's not vintage, but some of it is like
real vintage.
Insane.
I'm so sorry. True vintage
True.
is what you call it.
Is that really the?
Yeah, it's the term.
True vintage. Well, some of it is amazing. True vintage.
Brother, there's a subculture. They're selling Levi's out here for $80,000.
That's funny that you say that. Yeah. Not that I bought that. It just reminds me instantly of something, but never mind. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, right. What else did you steal though? Not steal, take. Any props?
It wasn't stealing. There's no stealing involved.
That's right. No, it was a gift. It was a gift.
There's like some props and stuff that you end up with, or like, I'm not a huge like I don't have like a house right now to like put anything in, so I'm not like.
Where do you live?
I live inside of my suitcase. I've like been kind of doing that, jumping from jumping from job to job for a bit. So I've got a lot of storage units going right now, so I don't need any more like storage items.
Who needs property when I got storage units, man?
Yeah, I just got units.
I got units, bro.
I got a unit here. I got a unit there. I got a unit here in LA. Yeah.
That is life. By the way, you got to listen to the Crux, please, please, please. Also, get ready for Stranger Things. It's on the way.
It's coming.
Very weird, right?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be very good. I'm hoping.
It's gonna be amazing. What?
Yeah, those guys are like the hardest workers.
Have you seen any of it yet?
No, I've seen none of it, except like some previs early on, which is like, these very odd computer generated characters that look like kind of eerily like you, that are gonna do the things that you're gonna do, but they want to previs so they can like see it. And I have the most unflattering previs character. It's horrible. Like this big chest and this crazy face. It's crazy. I'll find it sometime. I'll send it to you.
But genuinely, to work on something like that, like just the technology that's involved in like the magnitude.
That's one of my favorite. It's just like a lover of big, blockbuster cinema.
It's the
so
biggest.
Cool. Yeah, it's so cool. Like, the combination of all of these departments coming together to create something
so harmoniously.
It's like insane. It's a feat. There should be an award given to just like what it takes to put the logistics of something like this together. It is stunning the way that they were able to do something like this. It makes like making an album look like boop, like the tiniest. That's kind of honestly one of the itches that making a record scratches. It's like you can do it in like 2 days, you can have a new song. But if you're working on like a show or a movie, it's like
years
to get this thing out, you have to really, really have some focus and, perseverance to get these things done.
Are there elements that you take though from like being on a set like that and bring this character to life that really does apply to music?
I think like leadership, what it takes to be a director, you have to be a leader, and you have to, sometimes you're not always 100% confident, or sometimes you don't know if something's going to work out, but you have to know how to lead a group and lead through example and set like an inclusive vibe so people feel, comfortable to be able to bring things to the table, I think. Because you don't want to be like a dictator, but you also don't want to be like, whatever. Yeah, sure. You have to have like, you got to really like strike a balance, and that also includes like the producer brain, because time is money also on set, in the studio. So you do want to sort of like have that sense and be able to left brain, right brain, go between the two of those as well. Yeah.
It's interesting. You really are like a business. You're a CEO. You're an artist.
Kind of, yeah.
It's everything.
You sort of have to be. You have to be.
The only way. And it is true. Like, you don't want to discourage people. You also don't want to micromanage, and you don't want to enforce my way or the highway, because like you said it earlier, every idea has the potential to, even if that's not the idea, what that could bring in somebody else in the room could be invaluable.
I completely agree.
So to stifle that would really not benefit anybody.
And that's like ego.
Totally.
That's ego too, like getting out of your own way. Yeah, and being like hearing, I don't know. I also can be bossy. I can totally be like, I think we should do this. I think, I can be maybe a little creatively domineering sometimes, I think, in certain relationships. And, I get too excited. I get like pumped.
I understand it.
So it's important to have open channels and listen to everybody and, hear things and let things kind of, flourish too. Just because it's not happening right away doesn't mean it's a bad idea.
But these are things you learn over time.
Yeah.
You got to live it to understand it.
You do.
It's good to talk to another Taurus.
Yeah.
Happy future birthday.
Year of the monkey.
Yeah, it's a good year for us.
It's a great year.
It's a great
year.
You mean
this year is a good year for us?
Yeah. Well, I am. I think it all lined up.
Is this your year of the monkey?
No, there's something where the monkey works well with the animal. I don't know. I was really into it back in December because I was going through it. I just needed to know that hope was on the horizon.
Yeah. Maybe this is
The Chinese, like the Chinese zodiac signs lined up for me.
yeah,
and
which means
it's lining up for you.
I
So.
really love that you're a Taurus as well.
Yeah, I'll keep you up to date. I got you.
Okay.
This is good.
This is very good. This is very good.
God, I feel seen for the first time in a while.
Yeah, thanks for also having me. I love the show and
course.
tune in all the time. And
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
really, you guys are amazing and crushing. And yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
You are you gonna bring up this
Yeah.
Charlie
We
XCX
need to
photo?
know tell us about this photo.
What happens
Let's go.
after this?
oh yes,
you guys
I
at the
got the
Brits?
flu.
Oh.
Really?
The only 2 times I've ever been to London in my life,
You get sick?
I've gotten sick.
Oh, no.
I've gotten the flu. I was at the Brits this year. That was the first time I met. I'm a big fan of A.G. Cook. Huge fan.
I heard you're a brat too.
Of course. Who is not? If you're not, like, come on,
Are you-
man.
are you
Like,
living?
It's like, come on. That album's insane. The live show's insane. The whole thing. She's like a rock star. You know what I mean? It's great. And so yeah, I met AG. He's really cool. And met George in that photo too. He's really cool. The whole crew. They're all just like pushing the envelope, doing really cool things. And yeah, she won a bunch of stuff that night too. So
Did you party afterwards?
yeah, like went out, had some fun, had some drinks, and then got the flu. Then had to fly and go back to New York on the flight. Just like, oh, I don't feel so. I thought I was just hungover, but then like it's like, oof, like my back doesn't hurt like this when I'm hungover. Flu.
I know that flu
Took a
feeling.
test, flu.
I'm so sorry.
Flu B.
Really?
Also, not flu. You're not even flu A. I'm not even cool enough to have flu A. Flu B.
You survived.
I survived. I'm stronger for it.
That you
Yeah.
Just think about it. You gain new what is it? You know,
Germs and something.
antibodies.
Yeah.
Shit that fights it off. We lived through COVID. We
Yeah,
understand.
those British flus are strong. I don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, gnarly stuff.
I got norovirus the other time I was
Holy
there.
shit.
Yeah, I was. Thank you. I was
What?
on. I was in Manchester. We went to this soccer football game, and it was the derby. It was Manchester United versus Man City, and was coming back on the train, and just like public transit, and was like, oh God, I don't feel sick, like sweating, like I'm gonna take a nap, and then went into the public train restroom and just.
That's my nightmare.
It was truly like knock, 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 like 1 minute, like, blah. And then got to the hotel and I was out for like 2 days.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When was this?
My neuro diet never looked better.
No, that's wow. I'm so sorry. But you survived.
Yeah.
I went to London. I got something similar, and then I ended up getting sick somewhere between Korea and Japan.
Wow.
It was really gnarly. Same thing. All over an airplane bathroom.
Oh,
It was rough. And I used a vomit bag for the first time in my life.
what was that like?
Bad. Not great.
Did you fill it up?
Yes, I had to. They had brought over 2 others. It was rough, and everyone's looking at you.
I was going to say, who's like sitting next to you?
I mean, like I'm in this pod thing, but that these, they're
Oh,
looking.
man,
They're all.
everyone's
You can
like-
hear it.
oh my gosh.
The
of course.
engine ain't that loud.
No.
It was rough, dude.
No, that's horrible.
Yeah, London, clean up. Wash your hands.
Yeah. My fault, I guess. I should have washed my hands more. So the germs somehow.
I'm so sorry.
I guess like when you're at a thing like the Brits, it's just like there's 1,000 opportunities probably to get sick.
You know what I'll give you? On your way out, we're gonna give you some hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
I got a little bit in the car. Don't worry.
No, we have branded hand sanitizer. It smells really good.
Let's go.
I don't know why, but they were like,
how'd you get your
Bro,
own?
they
You got a
li-
deal?
no, they-
Purell deal?
I
come
wish.
through?
Holy shit, that would be. I would literally take any deal at this point.
Yeah.
But they literally come to us the other day. They go, we got these gifts for you to give guests. It's a hoodie, which is nice,
Yeah.
and then it's hand sanitizer.
That's so funny.
So it's like, I guess, it smells really good.
Great. I'll take it.
Yeah, we give you things. Joe Keery, everybody.
Thanks for having me.